Good things can have humble beginnings. Great things are told in a tavern. Long Rest is a comedy radio play D&D podcast entirely told after battles at a tavern. Listen to the saga of misadventures, social awkwardness, and a mystery or two. Grab a seat at the table. Hashtag, come for the ale, stay for the tale. The Long Rest, Episode 103, Under the Influence.
Welcome back to The Long Rest, a Dungeons & Dragons podcast set entirely between the battles at the Long Rest Tavern. Our accidental group joins forces to adventure and gain riches, but egos, bad habits, and family lead to chaos. I am Robb, your Dungeon Master. Our show tonight is sponsored by For Cod's Sake at the Docks. When you pull up anchor, they have all your sailing needs from brig to ballista. Shell yeah. On the Long Rest, our bard and rogue, after having made a precarious deal with the Thieves Guild to raise 10,000 gold in 10 weeks to save the tavern from an intentional fire, determined all they needed was a group of adventurers with specific prowess. Serendipity brought them something else. A young cleric high elf with raven hair, unapologetically nice, on a mission to serve. She is a healer, and there is kindness in her face. Named Aria. A wise, older dwarf with gray mixed in with black hair and beard. A quiet, wise man with many adventures past that may still have one last adventure in him. He revealed to the bard and rogue that he had had many adventures with their parents before they died. He has joined this adventure to keep an eye on the boys. He is called Orin. A sorcerer gnome, Thorne, Sky Striker Stells. He makes up with heart what he lacks in smarts. He has a somewhat weathered book bag that is overfilled and does not seem to burden him, and he appears to have some Feywild magic in him. He is called Thorne. A wizard that is an analytically minded scientist who considers others as subjects more than relations. She is outspoken, but seems to be clearly full of secrets. She is called Elizabeth. Tonight, we find our group back at the Long Rest Tavern, feeling triumphant after their first adventure in a dungeon deep in the sewers below the outskirts of town. They found sleepy kobolds guarding what is left of a small pile of loot. The kobolds, not having the energy to tangle with them since this was the third invasion of combatants, agreed to leave this odd group off easy.
Oh, it's good to be home. What an adventure!
I've seen better in my day.
How about we leave the assessment until we've counted all this? It'll go a lot faster with 6 of us.
How about we leave the counting until we've had a drink?
Or 7.
Oh, you're serious?
Yeah, it's been a couple of days. Let's just grab a splash.
Sure. We are a team. You lead, we follow. Do I need to remind you what's on the line?
No, I remember.
Begrudgingly, they travel to the back room and dump out the loot from the Kobolds' lair.
Okay, everyone, start sorting it into piles. Let's see. Gold, silver, copper. Damn, it's mostly copper.
Noticing the disappointment in the group that there is not much gold after all the trouble with the Kobolds, our cleric tries to lighten the mood.
That's a lot of coins. Perhaps it would be good for everyone to take a refresher. It would certainly boost our spirits.
The rogue shoots daggers at her. Not literally, just with his eyes.
A compromise, then. What if I stayed here with you to count while they get a drink?
I'll stay too. You'll need a steady hand and a good eye to stack coins.
Fine. We'll stay here. You lot can go have a drink.
The bard, sorcerer, and wizard all head to the bar, while the rogue, cleric, and dwarf start counting the gold. The rogue's face is clad with worry.
Excuse me, Corvo.
What?
Well, I know that sometimes when I'm upset, I tend not to share it with others. That can often lead to unspoken resentment, and I find it was an issue that could have been solved from the start.
What are you trying to say?
It's just that you seem a little,
You seem pissed off.
not exactly the way I was going to phrase it, but yes, you seem angry. Would you like to talk about it?
No.
You've been bristled the whole journey back from the dungeons. Take your weight off, son.
Really?
As an emissary for the goddess of healers, I can attest to the healing power of sharing your thoughts.
Fine. But only if you don't share these thoughts. Long story short, we're screwed.
I'm sorry?
I've been doing the math in my head on the journey back. Even if the last 2 bags are nothing but gold, there's no way all of this will total even close to what we need. It's mostly copper and silver, and that expedition took nearly a week. At this rate, we'll never make 10,000 gold.
Worry not, my friend. I'm sure we will find a way, and all will be well in the end.
Wishing it well does not a problem solve.
You know, there's other ways to make good gold besides adventuring.
Like what?
You do own a bar?
Correction. Artie owns the bar. He certainly gives away free booze like he owns the place. I know it's tradition to give away a few to keep people interested, but it's practically every drink at this point.
Why not ask Artie if he can cut back on the free drinks? Then we can find other little changes, and before you know it, this place will be bringing in plenty of gold.
That may work.
The rogue disengages from the conversation and heads to the bar, where Artie, Thorne, and Elizabeth are having a loud conversation.
I mean, it gets worse if I'm drinking, but I haven't had it happen in a while.
What's the worst one that has ever happened?
The worst? Worst? Well, one time it unleashed a necrotic plague that devoured a whole flock of sheep. Within minutes, there was nothing left but hooves.
Amazing. I'd love to see something that horrible one day.
What about when it turned all your hair invisible?
Ooh, yes, that one was way worse.
What in the hells have I walked into?
Intellectual discussion on the inconveniences of having a small bit of wild magic. Do you need a drink? A song?
No songs. I actually need to talk to you. Privately.
Oh, really? Begone, you two.
Let's go count loot.
No, not without this.
Our little sorcerer gnome spryly snatches a bottle of moonshine off the counter and, scurrying off, joins Elizabeth, Orin, and Aria.
Okay, so what do you need, brother?
Half, brother. So, first of all, that.
What?
You can't let everyone just take drinks without paying.
Oh, wait, is this a serious talk? I thought you were going to tell me you found a treasure map or something.
Well, we haven't finished counting.
Orin and Aria look hard at work.
They shouldn't be the only ones counting.
Do you not trust them?
So far, I do.
What's the problem?
You need to spend less time at the bar and more time helping your party.
Serving drinks is what I do.
What about the free drinks?
It's good luck.
No. We're just losing money thanks to your good luck.
Oh, you think you could do it better?
That's not what I'm saying. But sure. Yes. It's bartending. How hard could it be?
Oh, you know what? You're going to find out while I go spend some time with my friends counting coins.
Our bard storms out from behind the bar, tossing his apron over to Corvo. Listening in around the corner, our dwarf now pops around to the bar to surmise the damage from the bickering brothers.
You missed a spot.
Orin, don't scare me like that. I thought you were counting coins.
I was, but your brother...
Half-brother.
He kept pestering me to go get a beer, so here I am. Give me a damn beer.
Okay. That's going to cost you some coin.
Our dwarf is testing the waters.
Well, it is my third drink only. Good luck, you know.
My luck is 6th.
All right, how much?
Not exactly sure. Hold on.
Our rogue looks around beneath the bar, eventually spying a reddish handbook. He flips it open to a table of prices.
Food, drink and lodging, okay. Mug, 4 copper.
Can you break a gold bar?
I think so. Hey, you can't use treasure to buy it. That's gotta go towards saving the bar.
I'm literally handing it to the barkeep.
No. Pay with something else.
Fine.
He slams the gold bar back onto the counter and angrily rustles through his bag, pulling out 4 dusty copper pieces, one of them bent, which he smashes into Corvo's outstretched palm, almost knocking the beer onto the floor.
1 damn beer, please.
1 damn beer coming up.
He pours 1 damn beer, sliding it into the dwarf's hand, who downs it with a single swig.
Perfect. Another.
Got more coins?
Orin sighs and reaches into his bag, his eyes lighting up as he pulls out a single gold coin.
Aha! 4 copper each. You can bring my 25 beers to the table.
That's excessive, even for a dwarf.
I didn't ask, and I'll have you know, I can hold my damn liquor.
Our dwarf storms off from the bar, downing a second damn beer as he goes. By now, some more people have wandered into the bar and taken seats. The rogue gives them a quick nod and heads over to get their order. When he returns to the bar, Arya is sitting patiently, her hands folded.
Great. What do you need?
He starts filling mugs with beer as the elf bursts into a monologue.
Now, there are many healthy ways to express emotional turmoil.
I don't need a sermon right now. Do you want to buy a drink?
How about an apology?
I am sorry. What would you like to drink?
The rogue peers over at his brother, who is strumming a lute, his feet propped on the table, knocking over a pile of coins.
I've been observing him.
Oh? And what have your observations shown you?
He's been playing in a minor key. He only does that when he's feeling low.
How do you know that? Healing magic?
He told me. We had some great conversations on the road back from the dungeon. I think it would be in all of our best interests if you two could sit down and talk out your differences.
Haven't we already talked enough? I'd like to get through one night at the bar where we don't talk feelings. It's exhausting. Plus, I'm busy.
The rogue tops off the last beer, loading 2 full trays of mugs into his arms and setting across the bar to his party, moving with dexterity and timing to avoid tables and customers, landing the buffet of beer in front of the dwarf.
Now that's service.
I see you've gotten the hang of things.
I'm just trying to help us make money. I've already made a whole gold piece, and that's more than you'd usually make in that time.
You missed a few customers.
I'm going.
Excuse me. Get me another round, would you? Here's your second gold piece.
How did you...
I told you I could hold my damn liquor.
Fine. Just let me serve the others first.
The rogue quickly moves away, attending to the other customers who have entered. The tavern is full. The bard plucks his lute and slides down in his chair. The cleric returns from the bar and spies Artie sitting in a slump.
Oh, Artie, often when I'm feeling stressed, I find that talking about it is very helpful to communicate my anxieties. Or breathing exercises calms the heart rate down.
You know, I do love expressing myself. I guess it all started when I was young.
I was talking more about recent anxieties.
Dragons. Nightmares of dragons.
Do we really have to be here for this?
This doesn't really seem like a fun conversation.
Artie is among friends and should be able to express himself in front of them without feeling judged.
Am I allowed to judge you through this?
I suppose.
Ah, great.
So, Artie, would you like to share what's wrong? Not about dragons.
Well, if you hadn't noticed, my role as the tender of my own bar has been swept away from me like, something that gets swept away, I don't know.
Leaves.
Ash.
People in rivers.
Yes, like those.
It sounds like Corvo taking the role of bartender hurt your feelings.
Well, it's not just that. He doesn't know what he's doing. Bartending is an art, and one I take quite seriously.
Now, wait, how is serving drinks an art? All you're doing is filling a mug. Now, building a mug, that's an art. In fact, the mines from which I hail, why, we'd spent years crafting a single mug. In my day, I spent at least...
Orin, it's Artie's time to express himself. If you'd like to express yourself, please wait until he's finished.
Oh, if I must.
Well, thank you, Orin. I put quite a lot of time into keeping this place together, you know, getting special ale, preparing the meals, keeping the rooms clean. There's a special talent to getting everything just right.
Wait. You do all of this by yourself? How?
Well, I was just the bartender at first, but people would come in, have a drink, and leave, so I was alone most of the day. It's actually the reason I picked up the lute. Something to entertain myself during those quiet hours. And then people started to stick around. They liked the music.
And that's how you became the bartender.
Precisely. The perfect combination of server and storyteller. Come for the ale, stay for the tale.
That's actually quite catchy.
But, alas, tender no more, only tale.
Don't say it like that.
Oh, I hate having serious talks. What if I, expressed myself another way?
Oh, dear gods, no.
In song?
The bard bounds away from the table, lute in hand. Arya settles into her seat, looking quite content with herself.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm sorry?
You've known these two a week and you're pushing them to say and do things they are not comfortable with.
I'm just helping him to express himself.
You're stirring the cauldron, that's what you're doing.
I'm simply performing my duty as a cleric.
By getting involved in his personal business, be more like Thorne here. Not a care in the world. Right, Thorne?
Right! Be careful. Good suggestion.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, it will be healthy for them. Everyone, observe.
Only our cleric and wizard turn to watch the brothers' interaction. The dwarf has fallen asleep in his chair and is snoring softly, and our sorcerer has returned to his searching the bottom of his bag and pulling out vials. Artie has finally tuned his lute back to a major key and begins his performance, much to the annoyance of Corvo and the customers.
Oh, brother, it's been too long. We've been apart since we were lads. Now I'll express myself in song. You'll learn what makes me sad.
No, what are you doing?
The bard continues, unfazed. The same cannot be said for the customers, who exchange uncomfortable glances.
I've had this bar for years, and then you came along, and pardon my language if you will, but now it sucks.
Artie!
Since you've come back into this bar, everything's gotten worse. You've made us travel to and from, and I'm going to end up in a hearse.
By this point, the customers who had come in for a quiet drink have all swiftly left, and only the party remains.
Express yourself is what I'm told. I was making others sad. Now this might be a bit too bold, but your bartending skills are bad. Being a tender is special to me. It's who I've become. It's our family's legacy, and it reminds me of our mom.
Artie finishes his song with a bow. The empty bar is silent. Arya offers a gentle round of applause as Elizabeth buries her head in her hands.
So, what'd you think?
Really?
I was expressing myself.
I, liked it, but you emptied the bar.
Wait, I just bared my soul to you, and you're still concerned about money?
Thieves Guild?
He storms over to the table where the coins are stacked and counted, bumps the table.
Now you have to start over.
I tried to tell them no good can come from feelings.
Agreed. Orin, wake up.
42! What? I'm holding my booze.
Startled, our sorcerer gnome jumps back up on his chair, knocking a bottle to the ground and landing with a crash. He begins to hiccup, his body glowing as a burst of wild magic erupts from the gnome. The rest of the party dives for cover, but the wave of arcane energy passes through them all. As the dust settles, Thorne tries to pick himself up off the chair, but finds that he's floating. In fact, the entire party is levitating off the ground.
By the bristling beard of Fentanyl, what was that?
That was a wild magic surge. Try and grab something.
What in the nine hells? Elizabeth, watch out!
You idiots! This is wild magic! We will float till it passes!
Thorne, this is a problem. You can't be drinking an entire bottle of moonshine if this is what happens.
The rogue swipes to grab onto a nearby table, missing it and bumping into the bard. The dwarf is hanging onto his warhammer with both hands. He climbs down to the door and jumps under the table.
I'm fine.
The cleric is now floating between the brothers.
Nothing else to do but float, so talk.
And does anyone know how long this wild magic lasts?
Last time I lost my hair for almost a week.
A week? We can't be floating around for a week.
No, thank you. Let me see if I have something to fix it.
Thorne, do you know any way to stop ourselves from floating?
Well, usually there's some weird trick, some clever wordplay. I got my hair back after I ate some rabbit stew. Hair. Well, maybe we need something heavy.
You want something heavy? Okay, listen. You need to cut back on the drinkies.
Well, that's not what I was expecting, but all right. You're right.
As the sorcerer says this, he begins to dip towards the floor a little.
Oh, I think it's actually working. Keep going, keep going.
All right then, you too, Orin.
Me? I can hold my liquor.
The dwarf is floating again with the table above him.
No, you can't. You were fast asleep when I came over.
Fine. Work first, drink later.
The dwarf bobs up and down, slowly settling towards the earth.
It's working! Talking from the heart solves all problems.
Arya, as much as I appreciate your intentions, what happens between my brother and I is going to stick between us from now on. Got it?
I'm telling you, as a cleric.
I'm telling you, as your friend, it makes it hard to be around you.
Thank you for sharing. I understand.
The cleric bows her head, and she too begins to sink downwards. From the ceiling, the wizard pipes up.
Wow, so I was right from the start. So surprising.
Hey, Elizabeth,
Hey, Rogue?
stop being an ass to your teammates. Stop bullying Arya for trying to help, and stop calling Thorne an idiot.
But you just said you didn't want Arya interfering, and besides, Thorne can just...
Stop right there. I'm our leader, and unfortunately, that means I'm the one who has to deal with everything, okay?
Fine. I'll think of better insults. Can I float down now? Or am I still under the influence?
The wizard flaps her arms, trying to swim downward, but to no avail.
It isn't working!
That's because you're still being an ass.
Am I? As an observer of those around me, I just think my thoughts out loud.
It certainly doesn't feel good.
I thought you knew I was just messing with you.
It's not a good way to treat someone.
Then I am truly sorry, Thorne.
To everyone's amazement, she starts to float down, a look of relief passing over her face. Only the bard and his brother are still up in the air.
Okay. Artie,
Oh, great. My turn to get yelled at.
sorry.
What?
I think your song had a bit of truth to it that was difficult to hear.
Well, the best songs do. Which part exactly? Because your bartending skills aren't that bad.
Would you like to do this privately? We can leave if you want.
No, I want everyone to stay for this. It's not something I want to say twice. I already told Arya and Orin, but we're bringing in far less gold than we need to pay off our debts to the Thieves Guild.
The people that are threatening to burn down this place?
Those ones. I thought I could help raise more money if I was in charge of the bar, running it business first, people second.
What are you saying?
If we're not going to be able to pay off the debt, we might as well enjoy ourselves while trying. Artie,
Yes?
I am not a bartender. Would you please take that responsibility back?
Yes.
The two brothers join hands, and as they shake, the magic ends, dropping the two onto the ground.
Oh, thank gods.
It's good to be back on the ground.
Come on then, son. Get up. We've got coins to count.
Yes, it'll be a lot faster with the 6 of us.
I already... actually, yeah.
That's a very smart idea, Thorne.
They settle in to count coin as a group, slowly chipping away at the large pile of copper and silver. As they do, the pile slowly diminishes, until a single copper coin is left.
Who's extra?
That was mine. It must have fallen out of my bag.
You going to put it with the other copper?
Well, it's not a copper.
What?
Look, it's got a picture of a mountain on it. Copper coins have Watersgate Royal Guard on it.
A mountain? Let me see that.
He grabs the coin, investigating it for a minute before chuckling softly.
I guess you were right about counting the coins first. This isn't a coin. It's a map.
What?
It's how dwarven travelers used to mark the lairs of dragons. And this one in particular has been abandoned for years. Do you know what that means?
Ripe with treasure, perchance?
Precisely.
Thorne, where did you find that coin?
Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe it was from the bears.
All the coins are counted, and now we have the perfect place to head next. An abandoned dragon horde.
Who knows what we're going to find?
Whatever it is, we'll deal with it as a team. Now who wants some drinks?
And so, it was that the party found themselves preparing to travel to a dragon's hoard, due to the dwarf's knowledge of these ancient placeholder coins. And that is where we leave you tonight. Tune in next week for The Long Rest, after their first dragon lair heist on the outer mountains of Anorak. Until then, this is your Dungeon Master, and we are NerdzGarage. Thank you for tuning in.
The Long Rest features the talents of Robb Mann as your Dungeon Master, David Curtis as Corvo the Rogue, Zach Hanner as Artie the Bard, John Markas as Orin the Dwarf, Linda Carlisle Markas as Aria the Cleric, Jeff Phillips as Thorne the Gnome, Suzanne Ralke Smith as Elizabeth the Wizard, Derek Smith as Tharden the Dwarf and the Thieves Guild member. Creative Director is Dylan Smith. Special thanks to D&D Beyond, Wizards of the Coast, Michael Vancore, Justin Smith, Jason Aycock, Alice Morgan Sherwood, NerdzGarage interns, and all the NerdzGarage D&D players.